Use glitter charm! Activate glitter pact! Here I go! Glitter force makeover! Glitter pact! Apply shades of power! Glitter bands! Glitter poof! I'm glittertastic! A fabulous shimmer! A glow in your heart! I'm Glitter Lucky!
Hello once again, my chickadees. Game & Chick is back once again with another review. Before we get started, I wanted to give a huge thank you to the folks over at SEGA and Atlus for providing me a review copy to make this review possible. Thank you so much. Now with that having been said, let's get to it. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is the latest entry into the long-running franchise. With the game finally being released after what seems like an eternity, Atlus and SEGA hope that this latest title lives up to not only fan expectations, but hones the series' strengths and fixes its weaknesses from previous entries. But did they achieve what they set out to do? Only one way to find out, so let's fusion! Story. When a grisly murder scene in modern-day Tokyo blocks our protagonist's walk home, an unplanned detour leaves him buried and unconscious. He awakens in New Tokyo, a wasteland ravaged by apocalypse, but before bloodthirsty demons can claim his life, a savior emerges, and they unite to become a mighty being neither human nor demon, a Nahobino. Now with his new power, it is up to him to forge a path between light and dark and dictate the fate of the world. Gameplay. Have you ever had one of those days where you wake up, the world is going to hell, demons killing people and taking over your city, while thousands of civilians and classmates are kidnapped, slain, or injured, and then get dragged into a Matrix-like state between your world and another, where one reality is a desolate wasteland inhabited by gods, angels, and demons, and your only means to survive under these circumstances is to fuse with another being to become an entity known as a Nahobino? Huh, no? Just me? Alright then. Awkward. But on a serious note, this is your starting point to this title, and before you go any further, know that this isn't some upbeat or happy RPG that you may have played recently, or a game that holds its punches. If you aren't ready for a game to get real with you with a dark, dreary, end-of-the-world feeling, and one that can be relentless with its difficulty at specific points in its story, then move along, bucko, this one isn't for you. However, if you're a longtime fan with having enjoyed Nocturne, Strange Journey, Digital Devil Saga, or Devil Survivor, then pull up a chair because we got some major things to talk about here. Bear in mind that I'm not the resident expert of the Megami or Shin Megami Tensei series, so if I miss a reference here and there, then, shush it, or I'll open up the dimension to the netherworld and let the demons feast on your soul. Well, that or just say, oh man, sorry, depends on my mood. As stated before, poop hits the fan when your character, nameless protagonist, gets caught up in a string of events that pulls him into the realm of a war between gods and demons. But this destroyed and apocalyptic world that you get pulled into is not just any world. It's your home of Tokyo. Wait, huh? You were literally just in Tokyo minutes before and it was fine. Well, this is only because the demons have not crossed over into your Tokyo yet, and war with the angels and demons themselves hasn't come to full fruition to make the apocalyptic Tokyo a reality yet. Confused? Me too. When I first heard this narrative, I just figured, oh, so it's basically like the Cell and Android arc from Dragon Ball Z with Trunks, or his struggle with Goku Black from Dragon Ball Super. Now remember when I said that this game is pretty dark, and its tone is not as upbeat as other RPGs you may play? I wasn't joking. There are some really dark moments that are sad when friends die right in front of you when you fail to save them. But of course, me being the immature person that I am, I had to immediately go and ruin all immersion and sense of seriousness this game had going for it. How did I do this exactly? Well, first off, Atlus made one huge mistake. One thing that they shouldn't have given me, and that mistake involved letting me create my own character name. I'm notoriously bad for naming my characters goofy names, like when playing Final Fantasy VII Original and making Cloud or Aeris names be butt cheeks, and then laughing at people saying,
I'm a soldier first class, butt cheeks.
It still makes me laugh. Obviously, yes, that trend continued here in this title. From now on, in this adventure, when referring to my character or protagonist, immaturely, he will now be called by his true name, one that I picked after hours of thought. And that name is... Pooh. Yup, not joking.
I'm sorry!
After pushing through the main portion of the game, meeting some of the main cast of characters, and being sucked into the Tokyo-ridden demon world, you learn that your Tokyo and life you've been living this entire time has been a complete lie. It no longer exists. Huh? How can that be? Clearly we're alive and nothing is wrong, so how can it not be real? Well, the answer to that is that Tokyo only exists now because of a miracle of the gods. The gods were able to replicate Tokyo in its entirety and all living beings within it to the point that no one knew anything had ever happened to them. It's pretty damn insane. So the question you're probably asking now is, how come the gods, with that much power, are having so much trouble slaying demons and freeing this realm? Well, this is because Lucifer himself is back in action and leading the attack with his massive armies, looking even better than he did in SMT3 Nocturne. He's created powerful foes that have your world on the brink of destruction due to demons bleeding in from the netherworld to Earth. Luckily, by a stroke of luck, you run into a very mysterious man who is named Aogami. He basically pulls the "come with me if you want to live" tactic, just like Arnold in Terminator. And should you accept his offer and hold his hand like a high school sweetheart, you're immediately transformed Glitter Force in Sailor Moon style into a deity known as Nahobino.
Glitter Puff! Apply shades of power! Glitter bands! Puff puff glitter poof! Puff puff puff! A fabulous shimmer! A glow in your heart! I'm Glitter Lucky!
The one fusion of man and god that is capable of standing toe-to-toe with Lucifer's army and taking them down. But just the strength of Nahobino alone won't be enough for this threat. Trust me. Now that you've unlocked your Nahobino fusion, the real game truly begins, and you know what that means? It's time to do a deep dive into the game's overall mechanics and how it plays, just like Scrooge McDuck does in this Money Vault. Once you're free to explore at your own free will, you will notice that the game seems very open-ended, and your assumption wouldn't be too far from the truth. Each hub area you advance to is interconnected together by various zones and sectors, and this means each new zone you run and make your way to transitions seamlessly with either little load time or none at all, unless interrupted by a random cutscene. By running around these open areas and exploring your surroundings, you will be able to take part in a plethora of content that will make your journey through the world a rather enjoyable one, even if some of the areas are desolate. While exploring to your heart's content, you may search for little beings known as Memen, encounter enemies out in the overworld without them being just simple silhouettes, take on side quests for friendly and non-friendly demons, and choose who's right, take part in what I like to call notorious monsters hunts, a term that I am used to from MMOs, in which here in SMT5, you can choose to take down super powerful foes, or just grind to your brain out for levels. It's really all up to you at the end of the day. But that's not very descriptive now, is it? Sure, that tells you what you can do, but it doesn't tell you everything about those things. Don't worry, I won't leave you hanging like Meme Cat. As you run through each area completing your objective, you will encounter a ton of different demon types, some being sludge type of enemies, demon bats, long doggo demons, spiders, angels that look like they belong in the Shadowbringers expansion for Final Fantasy XIV, and even a demon cat named Beast Kate Sith. Ugh, I seriously can never escape this jerk, can I? He hunts me everywhere I go!
Hey you, Catman! Get back here with that! It's not funny! No! What are you doing, you stupid cat? We needed that!
But at least he looks like Puss in Boots from Shrek, so I'll give him a pass this time. The amazing thing about these demons, though, is that each monster you encounter in the overworld is actually recruitable to your party. That's right, think of it as a demonic version of Pokemon without ghost cursing you, and you pretty much got an idea of what I'm talking about. But it's not as easy as turning your hat backwards and throwing a Pokeball. However, it's not overly difficult either. I'll explain in less vague detail. We'll talk more about Demon Recruit and Combat 2 in just a second. Now before we get into the combat and all things about its mechanics, there are a few things that I want to touch upon first, such as Demon Recruitment, Moonphase System, and Mitamas. All three of which will be crucial in the advancement in your own personal level growth, as well as all the demons you recruit into your party. When encountering a demon and beginning a fight with them, you will have the option to attack them or talk to them. Choosing to talk to them will open up a dialogue with the demon to see whether or not they'll be interested in joining your group. Some demons are more welcoming than others by asking you simple questions, and if you guess right, they'll take a liking to you and join you. But some other demons aren't so trusting and demand you fork over an absurd amount of Maka, which is your currency, various items like life stones, and even some of your HP and MP if they're super stubborn. Giving them your HP and letting them siphon your life force out of you, though, gives me some pretty serious hocus pocus vibes. I just sit and wait for Sarah Jessica Parker to come flying in out of nowhere to sing her Come Little Children song. Come little children, I'll take thee away. Sorry. What was I saying? Oh yeah. There is, however, one little catch with the demon recruiting though, and it involves the moon phase system, which people familiar with this series should know all about it, at least by its name. In previous titles like SMT4, it's merely a cosmetic tool for peace and anarchy roots of the game. However, here in SMT5, it is its own mechanic, and in the vein of how it was in a similar fashion, at least to me, in Shin Megami Tensei 2. In SMT2, demons would lose or gain power based off of their moon affinity type, and here in SMT5, it affects the way you fight and negotiate with demons themselves. Some demons, if there's a full moon, won't give you the time of day, while on a half moon or normal, they're more inclined to listen to you, as they aren't as angry or powerful. But there is one thing that remains constant, no matter what moon phase is going on at the time, and that is constant without question. The over-the-top humor of all the demons you encounter. Nearly all of these demons are complete jerks, cuss buckets, and extremely condescending, and I love it. Some directly insult your intelligence, call you weak, scream at you, or literally cuss you out if they don't like you, and it's absolutely hilarious. The further you push through the game, the harder this game is going to punish you. No joke. It can knock you on your butt fast if you aren't properly leveled, or if you do not have the proper setup for your party for spells, healing, and special attacks. So how do you level up exactly? The tried and true way of just grinding out hundreds of demons till you level up? Well, yes, you can do that, which is what I did early on, and make literal crap for progress for hours and hours, because I, have no life. That is until I learned what you're supposed to do in the first place, and that is fuse demons together to make another more powerful demon to use. My problem is that I get too attached to a specific demon, and my pride, or whatever you want to call it, refuses to let me get rid of them. But fusing is what you're supposed to do. But how exactly do you do this?
It's elementary, my dear boy. Elementary.
By going to specific areas in each zone, you will find a bright blue light called leyline fount. With these ley lines, you'll be able to access Sophia in World of Shadows, who will allow you to fuse demons together to make a more powerful friend with dyad, reverse, and special fusion, based off of certain requirements like your level. You'll also be able to combine essence of demons together with each other, or even yourself, which will give you access to new abilities. Also, you'll learn what is known as miracles, that allow specific stat upgrades to you or your party, such as allowing demons to use items in battle, demon proficiency that bolsters your equipped demons one extra skill slot, or mastery of elemental skills like fire, ice, or electric. World of Shadows seems familiar, doesn't it? Well, the reason for this is because it's very similar to Cathedral of Shadows from Shin Megami Tensei 3, which is really cool. But don't go getting spend happy, you big goof, since you cannot use your Maka to pay for these. So what do you use? Remember earlier when I told you to find beings called Mimen? I hope so, because this is just one of multiple ways to get a currency known as glory, which you will need to acquire in order to learn miracles for you and your demons. For these little Mimens, you're given the task of finding these little guys by another demon that inhabits the leyline founts by the name of Gustav, who resides in Cadaver's Hollow. Here is where you'll be able to buy items in relation to health, MP, gems, and shards for elemental attacks that can be thrown, defensive moves, and spyglass, with spyglass being used to see the vulnerability of Mimens in order to kill them and get glory, and instant level ups for you or your party members. Then finally, you have the option to buy essence based off demons you unlock, which all essences bought can be taken back to Sophia to combine with yourself or your demon friends to bolster your skill sets with what that demon's essence uses, and combine it and other attacks with your own. Trust me, it comes in handy a lot. Once you have received the request to find Mimen from Gustav, who sounds like Lord Karuku from Unico,
feel free to come and go as you fancy. Till next time.
Oh, those are people, aren't they, Toby?
No, Lord Karuku, these people are useless.
Oh, Toby, you do them a disservice. I think they will make delightful puppets.
This video is sponsored by Atlas and SEGA.
間もなくヤクザの新作が発売される。その複雑なジョブシステム、端子のメカニズム、戦闘中の移動について話すことができる。あるいはミニゲームで探索的なゲームプレイを楽しめる広いマップ。しかし今こそ秘密病気を投入する時だ。ドラスキー。
Ah, welcome to paradise.
Aloha! All right!
I can show you around now. There's a few things you need to learn before we have a good time. You can have a little fun with some friends. And even pick up a new skill. Whatever you do, be careful. Even paradise can have its secrets.
You trying to tell me there are Yakuza in Hawaii?
Not exactly something you'd find in a guidebook, is it?
Keep your friends close. And your enemies closer.
Name's Dwight.
Nice to meet you.
Take cover!
And now back to your regular scheduled program. Then you can continue off on your story journey, which, if you're lucky, will only take you 50 or so hours to complete if you're efficient. You can find Memons scattered all around each map, hiding in corners, on top of buildings, or hard-to-reach places. Each Memon you find will reward you glory to learn miracle skills, and for every 5 of them you do find, you'll be granted a reward from Gustav himself, such as relics, rare essences, gems, and more. With around 200 to collect, this could deviate you from the main plot for quite some time if you aren't careful. Memons, though, aren't the only thing to discover, however, as you explore these rich in atmosphere lands and dark castles, because you're also able to pick up crystals named Magasuhi. These are green, yellow, and red crystals, which give you a good percentage of health and MP back, as well as improves your skill meter to activate your Magasuhi skill in battle.
Hurry up already!
Don't worry, I know we haven't covered it yet, but we'll get into the actual battle system in a second before we wrap up. So put away your official Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot ranged model air rifle with a compass in stock right now, because you'll shoot your eye out, kid. The overworld itself has a ton to do in it, as stated before. Whether you're fighting notorious monsters, unlocking leyline founts for miracles and store upgrades, along with using them to fast travel to different sections of the world. Memons to find, killing big plant monsters known as abscess, that when killed will unlock more visibility on your map, as well as give you more miracles to purchase to bolster your character and demons. Golden domes that when broken give you more Maka, silver glowing domes that give you 50 or so glory, demon statues that when using their power will level all your demons immediately, finding new demons to recruit to your party, and a crap ton of side quests to partake in that have you betraying another monster and siding with good or evil. Of course, you know me. I always went the a-hole route and betrayed the good guys. It's just more fun being bad. Not the Wizard It's So Bad or Michael Jackson bad. I'm talking world ending, sending you to your doom bad. Just the way I like it. The game's combat style is your traditional turn-based game where you have your chance to attack and then the enemy has their chance to attack, and you go back and forth till somebody dies. On paper, like any turn-based game, that sounds extremely easy. But it's far from easy, because this game can be grueling if you're not prepared, and muscling your way through this title is not really an option. Strategy at times is a must. Your options upon entering battle, by striking a demon out in the overworld with Y, or if they happen to run into you, will allow you to select from multiple choices, with these ranging from the skills category that allows you to do melee attacking to one foe or multiple, elemental attacks, healing, buffing, debuffing, defensive spells, and your special ability known as Magasuhi, which we covered briefly earlier. Think of it sort of like a limit break from Final Fantasy, and you get the gist. Fill up your Magasuhi meter by picking up red crystals in the overworld, receiving damage, or by damaging your enemy yourself, and once this bar is filled, you can use an extremely strong attack, or in my case, use an ability that makes all my party members' physical and elemental attacks hit for critical damage for one turn. As per usual, you can select items such as gems that AoE a specific elemental attack to all enemies, if your character Nahobino or demon doesn't have a specific magic skill, items to recover HP, MP, nullify elemental or physical attacks against you, etc. Should you also find yourself in a heap of trouble with a certain demon in your party being at a disadvantage, you're also able to switch teammates on the fly by clicking change to switch to any other demon currently in your inventory. But once again, that's not all there is to it. I know, I'm sorry, but this game is more in-depth mechanic-wise than you might think. So, Goosefraba, take deep breaths and let's continue. Smacking your opponent across their face like Batman to Robin is all well and good. Using magic spells, healing yourself, using defensive buffs to get the advantage in a fight, all those make for some really frustrating and intense fights. Not only versus normal mobs, but even against a big gigantic snake-like boss fight. Serpent Lady Nuwa, who reminds me of Princess Snake from Snake Way in Dragon Ball Z, Lamu, who aims to take over a human's body to regain his true power and use it as a vessel, etc. All of these boss fights can be nail-biting or make you tear out your hair if you aren't prepared with proper party setup or underleveled. But they don't compare to the boss fights against other gods later on in this game, near the middle and its end, like Shiva, Ishtar, and Abdiel, for they can also be quite the doozy. However, there is one more way to get a slight advantage that can boost your party from being just able to hit 4 times a move to around 7 times, and that's the utilization of enemy weak points and how to use their weaknesses against them. By using an item known as Spyglass, you're able to view which element or attack each demon is weak to, and by attacking them with what they're weak to, you will gain 1 extra turn to attack. You can go from raging your heart out when trying to beat these demons, to pointing and laughing at them and calling them weak, pathetic fools, just like Shao Kahn would. Now, while this game does a lot of things to near perfection, such as strategic combat, gorgeous overworld that is very stylized, interesting characters like Amano Zako, who is basically this game's Navi, but not as annoying, story that offers you twists and turns and goes very, very dark, it still has some things that annoyed me. Keep in mind that these aren't deal breakers, but just minor things that I noticed. When trying to find your way around the map when you're lost, the hitboxes for flying enemies is really bad. One enemy could be 6 feet away from you, but the hitbox is such a big square that they hit you from a mile away, it seems like, and initiates a battle, and this gets especially annoying when you're just trying to figure out where to go. Some of the main scenario missions can also get pretty tedious at times too, with the trope of go here, do this. Wait, nope, just kidding. Instead, backtrack here where you just were. It doesn't happen too often, but I hate crap like this. One of the little things that always triggers me. Certain boss fights can also be brutal, and a little cheap with bosses being able to hit you 4 to 5 times in a row without you being able to respond back, making some fights a bit unfair and forcing you to grind out more levels for a few hours before moving on. It's annoying, but the feeling you get when you overcome a tough battle though is pure bliss. Extra stuff. When you don't want to continue the main campaign, or just want to venture off to do other things, there's still quite a bit you can do to postpone the ending of your journey. Collect all 200 Mimen for Gustav to obtain all his rewards, talk to and negotiate to all demons to try to catch them all, a la Pokemon style, try to make every single demon fusion in the game, including special fusions of some of the bosses, complete all side quests in the games for demons looking for help, which some of these are very funny and involves a big demon who gets his feelings hurt because he was mean to everyone and bullied them, but then you kick his ass and he sulks in his cave and cries, or demons at each other's throats that bribe you to kill the other one, and your reward and consequence will be determined based off your decision. Fight all notorious monster demons in the overworld that are harder than any other enemy you are faced with during the main campaign, or purchase DLC for extra boss fights should you want even more of a challenge. This title definitely is not lacking in the content department. Overall, at the end of the day, SMT5 was such a fantastic experience. From the engaging strategic combat, demon fusion mechanic with miracles in World of Shadows, incentive to grind and explore the world to find items, and demons that will benefit your progression, scenery and zones that look gorgeous and vary from desert regions, snow regions, schools infested with death and demons, demon castles, cool modern Tokyo map where you control a little pin-looking avatar as a level selection that reminds me of Ghostbusters on NES. Also with great voice acting, flamboyant, angsty, funny, and an absurdly huge variety of demons to choose from, all of which have their own set of dialogue, and even making you feel like Dr. Frankenstein creating his monster when you successfully create a new demon fusion. Nearly everything is done to great detail and leaves it hard to complain about when all is said and done. Other than bad enemy hitboxes and a few missions here and there being borderline tedious with making you backtrack or grind. But all the small bad do not make a dent in all the positives. So this will be one very easy decision to make. Whether you're a longtime fan of SMT or maybe just a newcomer, there's something here for you to enjoy. And would you look at that? I went through this whole review without mentioning Persona like all the other reviewers have. Yes! Oh wait, I just did say it. Crap! So with that having been said, my verdict is clear. Game & Chick says bye now.